This is for you, Kenny. It's the Florida Love Show, paying love forward is the theme. It's the Florida Love Show, hosted by Kenny and his dream. Every special guest brings their love to the set, and the interview flies, it all comes alive like a duet. He wears many hearts, so he has a very special side. In the Brooklyn Cafe, it's a big love buffet. With roses galore, man, you are adored. Come take a bouquet. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Plan your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Show your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Follow this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Shine your love wherever you can. Shine your light. Love this man. Live your dreams. Make your day. If you love them, you are on your way. Give the gift of love and pay it forward and go. Give a kiss, give a hug. It's the Florida Love Show. Love you, Kenny.
Love you all. Welcome, all you lovers, to the Florida Love Show. This is your love hour right before happy hour, sponsored by Florida Love. Join us each week as we spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love. Now, back to spreading love. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Love you, Shah. So Shah sings the Florida Love theme song. So welcome all you lovers to the Florida Love Show. So here at Florida Love, we're a nonprofit, we're a 501c3, and love is free. Everything at Florida Love is free. So what we do here is we spread love in the Florida community and we transform the world with love, such that we create world love. So we spread love all over the world. So I am so excited for this show today. So I was in Publix just now this morning, picking up my roses, as I do every week for the show. And I'm giving them out. People are lighting them up, lighting up, lighting up. So when George Floyd passed, I reached out to my idol. So my idol is Martin Luther King. And Martin Luther King, I said, what do? I got to do something about this. I was crying when George Floyd passed, and I watched that officer put his knee on his neck. And Martin Luther King said, give out roses to every African American and say, I love you. So that's what I did. I was on my way to the show with 6 dozen roses, and that's what I did. So the newspapers covered it, the TV news covered it. So I'm going to play you the TV news to show you what Roses for Change is all about. Please play the news.
Welcome back. Now at 5:30, who couldn't use a little love right now?
One Pompano Beach businessman is making it his mission to spread love all around by giving out the flower of love to random strangers. CBS 4's Lisa Petrillo has this heartwarming story.
There's an old song with lyrics that say what the world needs now is love, sweet love. Ken Lehrman is living that moment in a movement he created called Roses for Change.
We love you.
The idea for Roses for Change came about after the death of George Floyd and the turmoil that followed.
I felt their pain. And for me, I don't see color. I mean, I see us all as human beings. And we all can love each other. I mean, love is simple.
Ken, who owns his own printing business for 35 years, appropriately named the Happy Printer, decided to spring into action, purchasing dozens of roses he could hand out.
The first thing I did was I went to Whole Foods and I also went to Publix and I gave out roses to all the African Americans in the store. And I said, I love you. And they said, I love you back. And they said, God bless you. And they said, we need love more now than ever before.
Ken was so moved by the response, he posted pictures on Facebook, receiving 600 likes. Suddenly, Roses for Change on Facebook was born. His followers wanted to join him, buying roses too, and it's now become a movement, spreading love to people of all races. We recently caught up with them in Boca Raton.
I just want to say I love you. Have a wonderful day.
Michelle Bellman, who had never met Ken in person, wanted in on the love train and came out on this day to volunteer.
His message is just of love, and love yourself, and love one another. And he speaks to my soul, and he speaks to me because I love to spread love as well.
Some were skeptical, wondering if there's a catch to these random acts of kindness. But for those who understood it, it meant the world.
I think it's just amazing. This is really, really nice. You're really showing your love. You're taking your time to do this. Just amazing. And the red flowers, forget it. Just bringing brightness to this world. It's much needed. Thank you so much.
Seriously, so sweet.
Can you imagine what a world it would be like if we just all gave roses to each other instead of what's actually going on? Like, to me, that's a way to spread a message. Spread the message of love.
Lucky me, I received my rose. For more information on Roses for Change when they meet every Friday, go on to our website at cbsmiami.com. I'm Lisa Petrillo, Smelling Sweet, CBS 4 News.
Love you, Lisa Petrillo. So Lisa Petrillo is the reporter who covered that. So we gave out roses in front of Bed Bath & Beyond in Boca. Oh, yes, love heals all, Christine. I love you, Christine, so much. Mwah. I love Christine so much. Christine is pure love, pure love. So please keep the comments coming. Just keep them coming. Let's spread love all over the world. So I believe we spread love to one person, it spreads love to all people, the whole world. So all you got to do is spread love to one person. So now I'm going to play you the second news where I give out roses to teenagers and say I love you. But I want to say one thing about the first news. There was a 90-year-old woman who hadn't heard I love you in 80 years when I handed out roses. 80 years. So, you know, actually I had another woman come up to me, put her crying on my shoulder, and she said, my husband passed yesterday and I had no one to tell. And she told me. You know, we don't know what's going on in people's minds, but when you give out, I love you, Christine, I love you, mwah, mwah, I love you. Please keep the comments coming. So we don't know what's going on, but when you say I love you, and you give out a rose or anything, a card, anything, they light up. So I'm going to play the second news where I give out roses to teenagers who haven't heard I love you in God knows how long. So they were just hanging around and I show up and I'm giving out roses to them. So please play the second news.
We're continuing to bring you inspiring stories from our area about people changing their communities for the better. Tonight, WPTV News Channel 5's Chris Gilmore shares the story of a man on a mission to spread love, one rose at a time.
Roses are red, and Ken Lerman's suit is too.
Love you, Anthony.
If you see his bouquets, he has a message for you.
Man, love you, brother.
The 55-year-old loves love,
I love you.
and he now uses roses to let people know it.
No, I love you.
There's some pain behind Lerman's purpose. His Roses for Change campaign began this summer after he and people across the country witnessed the fallout following the death of George Floyd while in police custody.
How can one human being do that to another human being? Like, I was crying when I saw it.
Armed with roses and a message of love, Lerman says he wanted to reach those most affected.
I got to give this to all the African Americans. They're hurting.
His message has since caught on both online and in Palm Beach County, where he regularly shares love and roses to people of all colors. We caught up with Lerman with 100 of his favorite flowers in hand at the Milagro Center in Delray Beach.
A lot of learning goes on every day here in the Milagro Center, but today's lesson consisted of some flowers and 3 words going a long way.
I love you.
I was surprised, and I was like, oh, I love you too.
A lot of these teens say it's been a while since they've heard those words directed at them,
I love you.
and even longer since they've been given flowers.
It was kind of weird at first. I was like, roses, giving someone flowers. It was kind of weird because I didn't expect that, but it's pretty nice. It's a really nice gesture.
He said, I love you, you stay safe, and told my grandma happy birthday too.
Lerman says he hopes the connection he makes with strangers leaves a lasting impact.
That's my mission every single day, to spread love in the Florida community and transform the world with love.
Because maybe all you need is love. In Delray Beach, Chris Gilmore, WPTV News Channel 5.
And you can help us share stories that are inspiring South Florida. Just send us your ideas to inspiringsfl@wptv.com, or you can head to our website to make a submission.
Wow, beautiful. Love you, Chris Gilmore. So Chris Gilmore is the second reporter. So I walked in there, I handed out roses. They were just hanging around pretty much doing nothing, you know? And I handed roses, they lit up. By the end, we're dancing. Oh, I love you, Ingrid. I love you so much, Ingrid. Ingrid is pure love. Ingrid is pure love. Love you, Ingrid. Mwah. So it was incredible. So they hadn't heard I love you from siblings, parents, you know, cousins, relatives, friends in years. And they lit up and we started dancing. That's the power of love. And so Chris Gilmore said, maybe all you need is love. So here at Florida Love, we say, all you need is love. That's it. Love is everything. So I say I love you to everybody. I come out of my apartment, I say I love you to my neighbor, my doorman, my security guard, my maintenance guy, the people at Publix, everybody. And love is pure freedom. To say I love you is pure freedom. Because it's giving up resentment. It's forgiveness and love, forgiveness and love. So say I love you to everybody. And we only have now, because life is short. I could pass right now on the show. We only have now. So I love you all. I love you, love you, love you, love you. And I'm so happy you're watching the show. So let's spread love. And I want to get back to Martin Luther King, because I want to read this, because I have a dream, and I have the same dream as he had. And I'm going to read this. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, that all men are created equal. All men and women are created equal. All human beings are created equal. This is my idol. So this is my dream, Florida Love, to spread love all over the world such that we have world love. We all love each other as human beings. We're all the same. We all have blood. We're all the same. And when I speak to people, I only look in their eyes. There's nowhere else to look. So I don't see color. I just look in eyes. And I see love. I see the heart and the soul. So I'm going to read another one of Martin Luther King, my idol, which I love. We need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. Not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. I love that word, humanity, human beings, loving each other as human beings. We're all the same. We all have blood. Love you, Martin Luther King, my idol. Now, love is so powerful. And the reason love is so powerful, and this is my wallpaper on my phone, is because God is love. That's why when you spread love to one person, say I love you to one person, it spreads to all human beings, because God is love. The power of love, the power of God. So Go out and love one human being and see what happens. Go out and say I love you to one human being and see what happens. So I love you, God. Love you, love you, love you. This is my wallpaper on my phone. So I have a few other sayings that I love to talk about. One simple I love you can change everything for the better. That's it. Just say I love you. Simple. Keep it simple. Simple. Just say I love you. Love is everything. I love you. You're probably thinking you don't even know me. That's true. But if people can hate for no reason, I can love. And here's the definition of love, right out of the dictionary. Love encompasses a range of strong and positive emotional and mental states, from the most sublime virtue or good habit, the deepest interpersonal affection, to the simplest pleasure. And the flower symbol is red roses. Red roses. This is right out of the dictionary. So this could be our world. What an amazing world this would be. So I also believe, yeah, so true, Christine. I love you, Christine. Mwah, mwah. So please keep the comments coming. And then I believe in love karma. What goes around comes around. Keep your circle positive. Speak good words. Think good thoughts. Do good deeds. So you say I love you. You love everyone. It comes back. The more love you put out, the more it comes back. And when I was talking about eyes, we think we meet someone with our eyes, but we actually meet them with our soul. How deep is that? So I just look in people's eyes and I see their heart and soul of love, pure love. And this is about people passing. Life is short. And we're going to talk about Gabby's dad, Carl, during the show. This show is dedicated to Carl because Carl passed. And she loves him more than anything in the whole world. He's her idol. He's her hero. Right, Gabby?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. That's how short life is. So we do in Loving Memories on the Florida Love Show. I've done all different in Loving Memories. Life is short. Things just can happen now. People can pass now. So don't take anybody for granted. Say I love you. Hold them tight. Keep calm, because love is the answer. Love is the answer to everything. Everything. So simple. And then I really love this one. There's only one race, the human race. So I look in these kids' eyes, these human children, and I see the most beautiful, loving eyes. I don't see color. I just look in their eyes and I see love. Can you imagine if we all just looked in each other's eyes and just loved each other as human beings? Well, that's what we're about here. That's my dream. Till I pass, that's my dream, that we all love each other as human beings. So there's only one race, the human race. So let's all love each other as human beings. Let's all love each other. And what I created was, I created the Florida Loving Hug, to give someone a hug and say I love you every day, to spread love all over the world. So go out, give someone a hug and say I love you every day, to spread love all over the world, the Florida Loving Hug, and see what happens. Love karma. Love karma. So I'm going to read something because this was given to me by Alan Love. And talking about life is short, I just want to read this. It's called If I Knew. If I knew it would be the last time that I'd see you fall asleep, I would tuck you in more tightly and pray the Lord your soul to keep. If I knew it would be the last time that I see you walk out the door, I would give you a hug and a kiss and call you back for one more. If I knew it would be the last time I'd hear your voice lifted up in praise, I would videotape each action and word so I could play them back day after day after day. If I knew it would be the last time I could spare an extra minute to stop and say I love you, instead of assuming you would just know that I do, I would be there to share your day. Well, I'm sure you'll have so many more. So I can just let this one slip away. For sure, there's always tomorrow to make up for an oversight. And we always get a second chance. Of course, we always get a second chance. There's always tomorrow to make everything just right. There will always be another day to say I love you. And certainly there's another chance to say our anything I can do, but just in case I'm wrong. And today is all I get. I'd like to say how much I love you, how much I love you all, each and every one of you. And I hope we never forget, tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Life is short, young or old alike. And today may be the last chance, today, now, may be the last chance you get to hold your loved one tight. So if tomorrow never comes, you'll surely regret the day that you didn't take that extra time for a smile, a hug, or a kiss, and you were too busy to grant someone what turned out to be their one last wish. So hold your loved ones close today and whisper in their ear. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you love them. Tell them how much you love them. I love you all. I love you all. Love you, love you, love you. And that you'll always hold them dear. Take time to say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you, or it's okay. And if tomorrow never comes, you'll have no regrets about today. So tell everybody I love you. Matter of fact, one of the biggest things within Loving Memories, I ask people, what were the last words you said to them before they passed? A lot of them passed unexpectedly. They never got to say goodbye because it happened like this. So I say I love you to everybody. So my last words will be I love you to everybody when I pass. And I could pass right now. So we only have now to say I love you. So Mom, I love you, Mom. I love you so much. So today's my mom's birthday. I mean, I'm not going to tell you her age because she never wants me to say her age. So Mom, it's your 21st birthday. Happy 21st birthday. So her name's Julie Love. And how come she's Julie Love? Because she gave me Kenny Love. I am everything I am because of my mom. I owe my mom my life because she gave me life. So I love you so much, Mom. You're the love of my life. So I just want to show you some photos of my mom because my mom is pure love. Look at this. How much more pure love is my mom? I love you so much, Mom. This is the best. She's pure love. And I love this photo of us. So I love you so much, Mom. Happy, 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 happy birthday today. So I'm going to play a slideshow right now of my mom so you can see us together. Please play my mom's slideshow. Love you, Mom. Happy, 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 happy birthday, Mom. So Gabby Love brought Chad Love here to sing my mom happy birthday. How beautiful is that? And Chad Love is pure love. So I said I love you to Chad Love. He said love you more. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I love you more, Chad Love. I love you more. So Chad's going to sing happy birthday to my mom. It's all yours, Chad. I love you.
I love
Love you more. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Judy. Happy birthday to you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get some cheers for him. Let's get some cheers. Mayor, please play some cheers for him. Some applause, please. Yeah, let's give him some applause.
We love you, Chad.
Awesome. Just off the cup, spontaneously spreading love. He is pure love. He's a gentle giant of love. Chad, love, I love you so much.
I love you too.
Love you so much.
I love you too, Kenny.
So much.
Thank you.
Wow. I'm going to start crying. Woo! So, Mom, that's for you. From Chad Love and Gabby Love. Happy birthday, Mom. Love you, love you, love you.
Happy birthday.
So this past week was Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, the high holidays, the high Jewish holidays. So I was raised Jewish. I mean, my religion is love, my political party's love, but I was raised Jewish. So for me, just to respect the high holidays, I didn't have a Florida Love show last week for the first time in like 150 straight shows. The other thing I did was I didn't shave from Rosh Hashanah, 10 days from Rosh Hashanah till Yom Kippur. I just shaved this morning. Let me tell you, it wasn't easy, and I've never had a beard. So it's a time of reflection. It's a time of atonement. It's a time of forgiveness. So I'm going to play you what Yom Kippur is all about. So for everybody who doesn't know what Yom Kippur is all about, you're going to find out now. So please play What is Yom Kippur?
Yom Kippur is the holiest day of the year for the Jewish people. This is the time of year when most Jews show up for services, or at least more than usual. In big cities, you sometimes even need tickets. The place gets pretty crowded. To prepare, during the days before the holiday, people make amends and ask forgiveness from their family and friends, and then the day arrives. We learn, on this day you are to afflict your soul, and Yom Kippur makes atonement for you and all Jewish people. So, how do you afflict your soul? Famously, by fasting from food and drink. There are other prohibitions too. No bathing, perfume, sex, or wearing leather. It's a lot of stuff you can't do. Fasting and praying, though, are not enough, as Yom Kippur demands that Jews also commit to changing their behavior. As it says in the Haftorah reading from the prophet Isaiah, an empty fast is not sufficient. This is the fast I desire, to share your bread with the hungry, to take care of the poor, to clothe the naked, and to not ignore our fellows. Traditionally, you spend the entire evening and next day at prayer services. There's many ways that people actually do this holiday. Some people create their own rituals, taking a contemplative walk, or fasting at home. Yom Kippur begins with a service just before sunset called Kol Nidre. You'll notice it's the one time a year where people wear a prayer shawl or talit at night, and many are dressed in white. Kol Nidre is a public apology in advance for failing to meet our own vows and admitting we're not perfect. The chanting of this stirring melody is the beginning of a marathon that ends 25 hours later. The evening, morning, and afternoon services that follow each contain special passages. Importantly, people chant confessions, called vidui, silently as well as out loud. Readers chant from Leviticus about the scapegoat ceremony that atoned for people's misdeeds, as well as the book of Jonah, about the prophet who ran away from God and eventually changed his ways. There's a memorial service called Yizkor. Yom Kippur is a time for relationship maintenance, requiring Jews to seek out reconciliation with others, with themselves, and with God. The imagery of the holiday is of gates, the gates of prayer, of soul-searching, and of forgiveness, which are closed at the final service, Ne'ilah, or locking of the gates. There's another metaphor, being written in the Book of Life on Rosh Hashanah and now being sealed in the very same book on Yom Kippur. You might hear people say Gemar Chatima Tova, May you be sealed for a good new year. As Ne'ilah concludes, the shofar is sounded in a dramatic closing ceremony. With the final blast, the ups and downs of a really long day come to a full stop. It's chow time. Time to eat as Jews gather together for break the fast. Not breakfast, because it's at night. Like any good cleanse, Yom Kippur leaves you feeling wrung out like a sponge, having gone along a spiritual journey, refreshed and renewed, ready to begin again with a clean slate. Gmar Chatima Tova.
Beautiful. Love you, love you, love you. Yeah, so I grew this beard that I had never done before, and that was one of my ways of, yes, happy, healthy birthday to Mom. I love you, Christine, so much. Mwah. Love you, Christine. So please keep the comments coming. Let's spread the love. Let's spread the love. So for Yom Kippur, I posted this on my Facebook page. I sent it to some people. I also posted it on Florida Love. We have groups, posted it. And I'm going to read this to you. On Rosh Hashanah, it is written. On Yom Kippur, it is sealed. So this is from me to you. To those I have wronged, I ask forgiveness. To those I have helped, I wish I did more. To those I neglected, I ask for understanding. And for those who have helped me, I sincerely thank you. I love you, love you, love you. Forgiveness and love. So I'm just going to hold this up as well. There is no love without forgiveness, and there is no forgiveness without love. They go together. Forgiveness and love and forgiveness, they go together. So who could you forgive today? Who could you say I love you to today? And see what's possible. So I love you all, each and every one of you. Wow, that was very emotional reading that just now. So I want to bring on Gabby right now, Gabby Love, because I want to share about her dad, Carl. Ever since Gabby and I had met on the Great Love Debate, right, Gabby? At Boca Black Box, and I love Gabby so much. Gabby is pure love. I call her Gabby Love, Dr. Love. She's pure love.
I love you too, Connie.
I love you so much, Gabby. She's like so amazing. And we have so many loving conversations. Yeah, and it's such an honor to have you here and love your dad. So her dad is so handsome.
Thank you.
And
Thank
he's
you
the
for
love of her
having
life.
us both in spirit.
So after your dad passed, matter of fact, I want to hold something up for a second. Just so Gabby, you see this?
I do, and that's my dad.
This is my gift to you.
The love of my life. He was all love, 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 just like you.
Yeah, and what happened? How did he pass?
Pancreatic cancer. So like what you were mentioning about how some people just go, and we need to appreciate and thank and love everyone that we know, because it really could be their last day. And fortunately, with my father, I had 4 months. But for those of you who have had someone pass from pancreatic cancer, know that it is 4 months is about average that you have. So my father was such a loving human being. All he did was love people. He would hand out $50, $100 bills to homeless people in Union Square Park in San Francisco. When he worked for Charles Schwab, he was that loving and caring about people. And I had 4 months, and we went through it together. And he chose to be happy through it. He didn't want pity. I called all his best friends from high school and college and let them know he was dying, and he had his hospice nurses in his own home. And he wanted to come and die in my home. But his doctors would not let him at the time fly to Miami Beach. And that's how close my father and I were. I wanted him to die in my home. He wanted to die in my home. Fortunately, he was able to die in my brother's home. And he died in his sleep on July 27th, 2017. And the love between a child and a parent, it can be so strong that I still grieve and think about him every day, and it's 5 years later. And I think that's ridiculous. It's 5 years.
And what did you do with his pictures after he passed?
Well, as we know, my Aunt Vicky, my dad's older sister, sent in the pictures that, thank you so much, Ken, for making the video of him that you did. I was in so much pain, and I heal through shutting down. And I would see all of my dad's pictures, and I had hundreds on my phone. And it was so painful for me to look at my phone and one pop up, and I just cry that I deleted them all off my phone. They're in my iCloud somewhere. But I had to call my Aunt Vicky to get the slideshow that you beautifully made for my dad. My dad and I actually talked about if he somewhat died, because he's always known I've been a personality in public of some type. I said, you know, Dad, I'm going to have something special for you if you ever do leave me. And he left me too soon. My father has a twin brother who's still alive and perfectly well with 5 kids and healthy and all that. But my father, there is the guilt, the daughter guilt, that I didn't spend enough time with him. You know, we were best friends. I traveled, and I would want my father with me. You know, I did a cross-country trip, stayed 2 weeks in different hotels, the W at New Orleans and Vegas. I had 2 cats in the car, and the only person I wanted there with me was my father, and we had an amazing time. And I didn't realize I did not tell him I love him enough. I did not spend enough time with him as he got older and lonelier, retired. Didn't have to go to Goldman Sachs every day and see his friends. And my father also died from PTSD from 9/11. It's also a very emotional day for me. I was not in my father's home in 99 Battery Place in Battery Park City of New York. He was getting ready to go to Goldman Sachs, and he had all windows on the 26th floor. Montel Williams was his neighbor, Jason Priestley. They were not in the building. My father was, and he literally saw plane 1 hit our trade center. And he literally watched the sadness of the World Trade Center workers that had to go up to the highest floor of the World Trade Center because the fire was coming from the bottom. And they all held hands because they could look down and see the fire coming. And it was either hold hands and jump off and commit suicide together or be burned by the fire that took down the World Trade Center. And we know that was a big hole. My father watched all of that with his eyes and was never the same. And shortly after this group suicide, you know, you could hear the thump of people falling. It was too traumatic for him. And shortly thereafter, the first responders came in and evacuated him. and my brother, who was there but sleeping in the other room visiting, and put them on a boat across the canal, Battery Park City water into New Jersey. And he was never the same.
So I love you and your dad Carl so much. So I dedicated a song to both of you, okay? And because you love him so much. And I'm just going to play it to love you and Dad, and then we're going to go more into what happened. Okay. So please play Can't Help Falling in Love.
Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you, for I can't help falling in love with you.
So beautiful. So, Gabby Love, why did I play that song for you and your dad?
Well, I can't help still being so in love with him, wherever he may be. He was the love of my life and still is. I literally think about him every single day. And I have those regrets that many of us do when someone we really love dies, and the things we didn't do, the time we said I had too much work to do. I'm building a brand, Dad. I can't just go off to Hawaii with you. I have to work. I have to build a brand. I have a mission. And since his death, I realized my only mission, since he was the one that I couldn't help but falling in love with you, meaning him, he should have been my primary mission. And I forever have regrets that I was often too busy in building my own things, and my father got lonely. He never got remarried after my mother. We talked every day. But I was always on doing grad school, getting degrees, creating Dr. Love Enterprises, helping people with their love lives. And I neglected loving my father's in his life first and foremost, because there's no one I'm going to miss as much as my father and my mother. And my mother and him were divorced for 30-something years. My mother's been remarried, and she was by his bedside.
Were you by his bedside?
I certainly was.
So you were by his bedside when he passed?
I was not. I was not the day that he passed. No one was. No one was.
Where were you?
I was in Miami Beach in my condo, and he was in my brother's home in Buffalo. And he wanted so much to come to Miami Beach. I was so busy building business, it was hard for me to leave too much. And I went several times. I called all his friends. They all went and sat by his side. He got to see friends he hadn't seen in 25 years. Went and sat and held his hand. His best friend's wives, he hadn't seen in 25 years, sat there. They had more time, right? His friends had to go back to be professors at UCLA, had to go back to California. Their wives stayed, held their hand. I stayed, held his hand. But it was also, there was an embarrassment, because he was the man of my life. And so when you have pancreatic cancer, you go through chemo, you kind of fall apart. He became weird. His stomach bloated at one point. He lost a lot of weight. He didn't feel human. And there was a part of respect that he and I knew. He did not want me to see him that way.
Do you regret that you weren't by his side in Buffalo and you were down in Miami to say I love you before he passed?
No, because that would have been way more painful for him and for I. We deal with sadness and pain in our own light, but he was ashamed of what death looked like for him, only in front of me. So that's why I was not right there that day, and no one was. He didn't want me to see his hospice nurses going in and having to do the things that they did to him. He did not want that. He's a man. He's a man born in 1950. Things are different then. I would say, Dad, just solve this problem this way, and he couldn't do it. I mean, if I'm going to get graphic about it, when you get cancer and you go through chemo, you get extremely constipated. And that it could actually kill you. And his nurses would have to go in and fix that for him. And I would say, Dad, just eat some supplements, eat some, and it was not something that a man born in 1950 was comfortable. He preferred that we just were loving each other and happy. And I would go up and I would get us a hotel, and my brother and his wife would come, and my father would go in the heated pool at the hotel with his breathing things on. He would just to get a last moment of going in a heated pool that his daughter was there. But too close to seeing his death, he did not, I'm the woman he did not want there.
Right, but also you didn't want to see it because it was too painful for you.
Well, I think everything happens perfectly by a higher being of whatever sort. And I believe it would have been way more traumatic if his doctors would have allowed him to come die in my Miami Beach condo like he and I wanted.
So I just want to, Karen just wrote into sending love to you. She just lost her dad.
Oh,
Her dad happened to be named Ben Bernard, same as my dad's name. I love you, Karen, so much, Karen. So Karen is sympathizing with you and loving you so much. She just lost her dad.
Thank you, Karen. It's very traumatic. And unfortunately, my opinion, it never goes away fully. It's something we have to micro and macro manage for the rest of our lives. I lost 2 years of my life where I couldn't even leave my condo. I was depressed with my Pomeranian in bed, and I lost the desire for work. I lost the desire to hang out with people. I just mourned and grieved and cried a lot with my dog, thank goodness.
Can you see what Karen just wrote on your screen there? She just wrote, love you more, I so understand. She was distraught.
Thank you, Karen. I love you too.
Yeah, so Karen owns Crazy About Costumes. I happened to be there getting a costume when she told me her dad passed, and she was distraught. I mean...
Yes. Yes, I'm finally not destroyed, but I have destroyed moments still, but I was destroyed for 2.5 years. And then I said something like, I thought my dad come and say, please, you know, I would not want this for you. You have to get over me and let life be life.
Do you see what
We are
Karen
all
just
born
wrote?
and we all die.
Did you see what Karen just wrote? She wrote, still am, will always be. She's right with you.
Yes.
And again, when your dad passed, you didn't know he was going to get pancreatic cancer.
I never thought my dad would die so early. He has a twin brother who's 67 and perfectly healthy. I expected him to live until, at least until 80. He was only 67. But he lived a very good life. He really loved people. I never heard my father say one bad word about one person my entire life. Never. I respect my father so much. He just wanted to enjoy life, and he loved all people equally. He tried to help people as much as possible. And he decided, when he found out, he decided to be happy about it. And so, coming from a repressed family, I said, I'm going to be strong, and Dad wants to be happy these next 4 months. I'm going to be happy too. And we never talked about the cancer. We never talked about him dying. We never talked about what would happen during or after. We just loved each other, sat in
Do you
peace
read what Karen just
together.
wrote? She wrote, my mom dies of pancreatic We were so lost and passed away within 6 weeks. My best friend forever. My rabbi helps me.
6 weeks. Gosh, I don't know how you made it through that. I feel fortunate. I had 4 months. I do. I feel for you. And I know that was hard. I'm glad you have your rabbi.
So I want to play the slideshow of your dad, but one thing I want to... Your dad's with us right now. What would you love to say to him that you always wanted to say to him?
Dad, you know I love you. And you know you were the love of my life. Still are. And I'm just really sorry that I didn't spend the time with you when you knew you were getting older and your time was coming. I never knew at 67 that you were trying to spend more time with me. And I'd be too busy. Oh, I'm going there, New York. I gotta go to California. I'm signing a business contract. And I now realize you were a lonely dad, and you wanted your daughter, and I'm sorry that I didn't recognize it at the time.
So I love you so much, Gabby, love. I love you so much, and I love your dad, Carl, so much. I want to play the slideshow so everybody gets to see what a beautiful, handsome, loving, special man your dad is. So please play the slideshow. So Gabby, I love you so much. So I picked out a song I want to play to dedicate to you and your dad. The person who's singing it actually passed away from cancer. Breast cancer, then spine cancer. So could you please play Honestly Love You?
Maybe I hang around here a little more than I should. We both know I got somewhere else to go. But I got something to tell you that I never thought I would. answer. I see it in your eyes. Maybe it was better left unsaid. This is pure and simple, and you must realize that it's coming from my heart and not my head. I love you. I honestly love you. I'm not trying to make you feel uncomfortable. I'm not trying to make you anything at all. But this feeling doesn't come along every day, and you shouldn't blow the chance when you've got the chance to say, I love you. I love you. Honestly love you. If we both were born in another place and time, this moment might be ending in a kiss. But there you are with yours, and here I am with mine. So I guess we'll just be leaving it as is. I love you. I honestly love you. I honestly love you.
I have chills down my spine. Why did I choose that song? So before I end the show, what would you love to say to your dad? He's right here with us now.
Dad, I love you, you know I do. We were best friends, and you know I never meant to not realize you wanted to spend more time with me. And I know you forgive me. You understand. You were proud of me. You were always proud of things I accomplished. And I'm proud of all the great times and compatibility and friendship, and I looked up to you as the highest human being I'd ever met. You were a pure soul. You're a pure soul. You're always my idol. And if I could ever be half as good of a human being as you were your whole life, well, I got it from you. And I thank you.
So I love you so much, Gabby, love. Love you so much. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. And I love your dad Carl so much, so much, so much. It's been an honor and a privilege to dedicate the show to your dad, Carl.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I love you so much. And Chad, I love you so much. Thank you for singing
Thank
happy
you,
birthday to
Chad.
my mom. I love you, love you, love you, and I love you more.
And Gabby, remember, true love never dies if you keep hope in your heart.
Yes.
How about giving her a Florida loving hug? Beautiful. Beautiful.
And as a realtor, I can be reached at 561-570-9023. Thank you.
Okay. I love you so much. So I want to thank you, all you lovers, for watching the Florida Love Show today. Don't take anybody for granted, because we could all pass now. Life is short. So we only have now to love each other. So I love you, love you, love you all. Thank you for watching. And as I always end every show, who can you give a rose to? I love you. You've been listening to the Florida Love Show, where we've been spreading love in the Florida community. For more information, please contact me, Kenny Love, at 917-699-1995 or ken@florida-love.com or on our website, florida-love.com. See you next week, 3 p.m. Friday for the Friday Love Hour. Keep spreading love in your life and have a loving week. Love you all.